All right, here we go. Friday, skip Thursday, we'll get to that. But deadlifts, 525 for 5. This is 10 more pounds than last week. That's basically what this progression's been, 10 pounds each week. And so 2 weeks away. This is actually easier than 515 for 5. And we're 2 weeks away from being back at 545 for 5. So be peaked again. This is Saturday, 274 for 3 sets of 5, close grip bench. This video was supposed to go up yesterday. I made the car talk yesterday. It's still, I don't have any issue with the car talk. Nothing new to talk about, so I'll leave that in. But Thursday's workout was squats. I don't know why I kept doing that stupid power sit-up yesterday. Thursday's workout was squats, and I just wrapped up my Sunday squat workout with 5 more pounds. So I just won't include the Thursday squat session, and I'll just only show the Sunday, because what's the point of showing you 2 squat sessions with a 5-pound difference? It's not like there's much more to talk about. In the car talk, I talked about cutting back on overall squatting frequency and trying to decide how I'm going to balance out the bench and the overhead press. Conclusion I came to, squatting twice a week now with an RDL day in place of the second squat day of the week. Lying tricep extensions here, 135 for 2 sets of 10. And I pull the pin out so I can't re-rack it when I lift it up here. So I have to just dump it off behind me. And check out that Ferb shirt I got on from Phineas and Ferb. That is the key to a powerful bench press, is a good shirt meant for Disney adults. You wish you had a shirt that looked that freaking sweet to bench in. Anyway, and then as for overhead press, so I do want to bench 3 times a week, but it's pretty tough to try to balance that out with the overhead pressing day and how exactly that's going to get structured, with the added RDL day now. This one I figured it out. You got to lift the pins up. Who would have thought? Raise it up a little bit. Being a moron there. But anyway, so I'm going to overhead press twice a week. And I just have more emphasis on the bench. That's what I'm taking more seriously, the progression. Instead of 2-pound jumps on the bench, I'm going to do 2.5 since it's only 2 days a week. Now, it's actually going to end up only bumping me up 5 pounds a week, but with the overhead pressing days, there being 2 of them, I think it'll be fine. And I think that the overhead press should carry over well to the bench. And I think that I can make pretty decent gains on the bench still with I'm trying not to pull that bar off. I'm afraid that it's going to slip off if I yank too much on it to sit up, but don't worry, I got out. I lived. I also I think I broke the first set of squats curse where it always looks terrible. I didn't think this looked that bad. I always still start with my legs too wide. I squat with a perfectly balanced stance where it should be all the way up in warm-ups, and then the first set I just get way too wide. I wouldn't say way too wide, maybe just foot width too wide. I think that just balancing out both of them 2 times a week will be fine. The only thing is that I'm gonna bench and RDL on the same day now instead of overhead pressing and RDLing on the same day, like I was considering in the car talk. That should be better because then you can lay on your back and not work too hard after or before, however I want to do it. Probably before, standing on my feet and doing something difficult. Whereas 3 sets of 5 overhead press is going to be draining, and then you're going to do, for me, probably 2 sets of 8, 2 sets of 10 on RDL. Standing up on my feet, moving my back. It's a lot of loading of the spine. I think in the car talk I said axial loading. I guess it's not technically true because I'm not putting the bar. I'm not literally loading my spine like when you put a bar on your back or a bar on your shoulders. So I guess incorrect terminology there, but you guys get the point. That's still a lot of volume requiring the back. Not that the overhead press is a back exercise per se, but, you're going to be bending a lot. You're going to be arching your back. So, give it a damn rest. So I'll bench an RDL on Tuesdays, and that'll be the changes there. Everything else mostly staying the same. And I guess, for you guys as the viewers, if you keep up with the training logs, it'll give you not so much monotony, as it just won't be bench squat, bench squat, bench squat. Jeez. All right, welcome back to another Card Talk. So, didn't get to bench with my deadlift yesterday of time constraints. So, benched today and did the tricep extensions as opposed to overhead pressing, which was my original plan, which is fine. I just need to be sure that I'm working overhead pressing in at least once a week. I want to keep doing bench 3 times a week. I was a little back and forth with which one I truly wanted to focus on for the rest of the year. It was bench, and then I got overhead press, started to feel good. I was like, maybe I just want to, keep my overhead press main and, use bench as an auxiliary lift. And, but then I came back toward the plan, and it's like, well, I think that really the priority for at least the rest of the year here should be to keep the bench moving up and, really push to get 4 plates by the end of the year, because bench is my weakest lift, and that has to change. You shouldn't let your weak lift stay weak. So, but the good news is what I'm gonna do. Oh man, this guy's going slow. I'm going to take a squat day out, because squats are beating the hell out of my legs, particularly the tendons, joints, ligaments in my knees. And I mean, also just generally the quads overall. I mean, I just feel like beat to hell. They're sore all the time. I'm doing 3 sets of 5 3 times a week. In my opinion, if you're going to be doing squatting 3 times a week, it can't be volume, volume, volume. I mean, it can be. You can, I suppose, just adapt to it, get used to it. But the thing is that it's, it's different rep ranges every time for most people. I mean, when you look at a program like Smolov, which is probably going to be the most demanding, physically demanding squat program that there is. I mean, even that, like, it eases your way into it with 3 times a week, and then, it's really when you hit that base cycle. But, most people don't even make it through the base cycle. They'll make it through like a week and a half and then just fucking give up. But like I was saying, though, even then, you have your sets of 9, and it tapers down to, I don't know if it's supposed to be like the Friday workout or a Saturday workout. It's supposed to be sets of 3. So it's not hitting the same rep range every single time. I mean, I have seen that, though. I've seen like Clarence Kennedy squat program. It's like 5 times a week, and it's 5 by 5 every single time. So I guess, I think for the general population, that's just going to chew you up and spit you out. But, for some people, I guess if you work your way to that and adapt to it over time, you'll be fine. For me, though, this is just beating the shit out of me, and like my squat is still going up and feeling better, but I think now that we've gone through the learning phase of low bar, I don't need to really hit it 3 times a week. If you are, though, you have to do something like, Texas method, for example, traditional Texas method. If you're going to squat 3 times, and then you have, your 5 by 5 on Monday, your intensity day on Friday, and then the Wednesday workout is just a lightened workout to, you know, I guess work on form, basically. You're just kind of practicing the lift at that point. It's like a deload day. So, I mean, something like that works well, or like, you know, heavy, light, medium, or anything like that, but just, you know, sheer volume 3 times a week. I don't know if that's going to work for most people. So I'm going to take a squat day out, the middle of the week squat workout. So for me, that's Tuesday, because I guess my squat week starts on Sunday and it runs to Thursday. So Tuesday, I'm going to take out, and I was going to add some sort of deadlift accessory, probably RDLs, to give it some more volume there, especially as I'm working my way through. I'm almost back at peak, 2 more weeks, and, you know, I'll have to tie my all-time 5 RM 3 weeks. I will be above that. I don't love RDLs. That's actually one of my least favorite exercises, but I can't think of a very good replacement. I don't really like pulling from the floor in my home gym because I have to use those shitty mats that are craters, and the bar, you know, the plates sink down in them. My feet aren't level. So stiff leg, I don't really, you know, want to do. I also, you know, I don't love stiff leg deadlift anyway. And there's rack pull is the other option, which would bend my bar more. I run the risk of doing that. And I feel that last deadlift cycle, the reason it kind of crashed and burned after 545 for 5 is because the rack pulls were just insanely fatiguing once I was getting up into, you know, what was I at, like 625 for sets of 5. So I'm not too sure that I want to do that. So that would basically just leave the RDL. I can't really think of another deadlift accessory. I mean, I suppose there's good mornings, but I kind of hate good mornings because the bar rolls up your back. It's really difficult to not have the bar roll up your back. So then you're left with using like a safety bar, but then that's just going to sit like on your neck. And, you know, I don't love that. If you're going to do a good morning, I would do it with the SSB, which I have access to a cheap one, but, you know, again, because it's a cheap one, it doesn't sit in a great place. So that leaves us with RDLs, which, again, like I said, I don't love. I kind of dread doing them, but I don't really see a better option. So I think that's going to be what I go with, just like when I was running Texas Method in the spring and early summer. So I think that is what's going to happen. And then, you know, the RDL workout doesn't really take very long, so I might add overhead pressing in on that day. Like I'll overhead press first and then RDL, or RDL first and then overhead press. It's a lot of axial loading for one session, but, you know, I can't really think of a better option to adding in the overhead press, unless I'm going to do it like before I bench, but that's, you know, I feel like that's going to kind of take away from it. So, or you could do it after, but then the benching is going to take away from the press. So I feel like that's like most optimal, is to do it on a different day entirely. So I will see how that goes, possibly by the time the next video is up.